Musk's AI startup makes a sudden pivot. The FDA has approved Apple's brand new hypertension feature for Apple Watch, and OpenAI and Anthropic both share details about recent red teaming efforts. All that and more on tonight's New Tech Nightly. I'm hosting this soft launch season, recorded taped to live from the Big Pink Building in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. Let's get into tonight's tech news. Our first story, Elon Musk's xAI is dramatically changing one of its strategies, firing 500 of its 1,500 data annotators effective immediately, calling it a strategic pivot to focus on domain experts. So the generalist trainers who label data to refine AI models were deemed no longer needed as xAI shifts in a new direction. But in the same breath, xAI announced it will have a surge of hiring across specialist AI tutors tenfold across fields like STEM, finance, medicine, and more. So basically, Musk wants deep experts teaching Grok in each domain. Musk launched Grok last year to a lot of fanfare, but xAI is under a lot of pressure to stand out. Musk has framed Grok as a truth-seeking AI with a rebellious streak. By refocusing on expert inputs, xAI may hope to improve accuracy or capabilities in specific verticals where ChatGPT or others sometimes falter. But these abrupt layoffs raise eyebrows about xAI's stability. I mean, look, Musk is known for bold moves, but cutting so many staff could slow data pipeline work or morale. It's a dramatic bet that quality beats quantity in AI training. Shifting to Apple news, the FDA just cleared Apple's new hypertension notification feature for Apple Watch. They just announced this feature alongside new Apple Watches at their big iPhone 17 event last Tuesday, but this feature will roll out with watchOS 26 next week on Series 9 and later, and Ultra 2 models and later. So that means you don't have to have the latest Apple Watch Series 11 or Ultra 3 to get these features. This feature analyzes optical heart sensor data over 30 days, and then it flags possible chronic high blood pressure. But importantly, it does not take blood pressure readings. Apple recommends confirming with your doctor. So while it won't catch all cases of hypertension, early alerts to people who have possible hypertension could surface undiagnosed hypertension at a large scale. Apple says they'll probably send 1 million of these notifications in year one. I really appreciate how they're not limiting this to the brand new Apple Watches that just launched. So again, if you have a Series 9 or above or an Ultra 2 or above, it's a great feature to be aware of when watchOS 26 rolls out. One more detail I do want to quickly mention is that this is not intended for those under 22, those already diagnosed, or during pregnancy. Next story, OpenAI has doubled API rate limits for developers' GPT-5 access. So this will give developers a big boost in throughput, and this applies to the latest GPT-5 and GPT-5 mini models. This means that apps using OpenAI's APIs can send significantly more tokens or queries per minute, enabling snappier performance and higher volume workloads without hitting ceilings. So why does this matter? So this could allow developers to build more demanding real-time AI applications. For instance, a customer support bot could handle more simultaneous conversations, or for data analysts, you could process longer documents faster. And previously, hitting that rate cap would cause delays or even failures for developers, so now apps can scale usage much more smoothly. OpenAI also raised batch sizes, which are the tokens per request. Tier 1 went from 1.5 million to 3 million in some cases, which again helps with long context operations like lengthy files. This move comes as Google's Gemini and Anthropic's Claude compete on enterprise features, and OpenAI's new limits actually surpass Anthropic's default tiers in some cases. Next story, Anthropic is teaming up with the US Center for AI Standards and Innovation and the UK AI Security Institute to evaluate model safeguards. So these government red teamers were given unusually deep access to stress test Claude safeguards, and Anthropic says it already shipped fixes based on what they found. It's been a year-long collaboration, but a few hours after Anthropic announced that, OpenAI said, oh, they are also working with both organizations, and they say the US CAISI found 2 novel vulnerabilities in ChatGPT that OpenAI fixed within one business day. Next story, China has launched a probe into US chips, escalating tech trade tensions. And this is on the eve of US-China trade talks in Madrid, and China's opened 2 investigations targeting US semiconductors, signaling a calibrated counter move in the broader tech trade rivalry. China's Ministry of Commerce announced 1, an anti-discrimination review of US chip sector policies affecting Chinese firms, and 2, an anti-dumping probe into certain US analog ICs used in hearing aids, Wi-Fi routers, and sensors. And this dumping probe focuses on analog RF type chips, a segment where US suppliers like Texas Instruments and Analog Devices are leaders. So if Beijing finds dumping, it can impose anti-dumping duties or quotas on US suppliers. Now this move follows Trump administration actions this week, including adding 32 entities, 23 of which from China, to the Commerce Department entity list for national security reasons. Tariff extensions were also approved by Trump. So China's move is the latest volley in this chip standoff. The US has has tightened tech controls, and China is now using trade law tools against US chips. So you can expect potential supply chain friction for analog components across electronics and autos if duties are imposed. Well, this show will be back on Tuesday evening, but if you live in Portland, Oregon, and you're interested in hosting, please reach out at hello@resonant.works. And I'm Shannon Leonard hosting this soft launch edition, and I'll see you next week.